What are you sad to see become normal practice? Top 10 lists where each item is on a separate page and each time you switch pages, you're hit with pop-ups. I do not feel sorry for it blocking those sites. Same food, same package, same price, half the amount. I hate when a company releases a product as new and improved and the only thing that has changed is the packet got smaller. Clickbait. Raw real life footage OMG. Best one yet, not clickbait. People accepting anything posted on social media as fact and not fact checking it. Stop believing every single sob story or going with every reason to be angry or get mad. I'm sick of it. Everyone is offended and angry over the flimsiest of reasons. This makes me incredibly angry. Fact checking is not hard. It doesn't take much of a person's time, and every time I have someone come at me with an idiot article they read, oh my land. It's disgraceful that companies don't bother to contact you back about job applications anymore. For a huge company, is it really so hard to send an automatic rejection email? What's even worse is when you don't hear back from them after an interview. I don't even want to work for a place that does that. Freaking around on the phone while driving. My skin itches when I pass by someone doing 80 miles per hour on the highway with no hands on the steering wheel and one eye on the road because whatever is on that screen is 100x more important than the world around them. I honk at them. Most look up terrified. The devaluation of bachelor's degrees. The combination of entry level and must have 5+ years of experience. It's really balls to combine the two, but the job market is still so screwed that potential employers can get away with it. I'm really proud that my law firm has an entry-level paralegal position that requires no experience. The projects are low exposure, but we get young folks in and train them. It has worked out really well. The idea that facts and opinions are being given equal weighting. And also the idea that all opinions are equal. People have the right to their opinion, but other people equally have the right to criticize and refute the first person's opinion. Being criticized is not the same as being censored. Video games where you can only play with other people if you are online. Seriously, why in the heck can't my buddy play this game with me when he is sitting on the couch next to me? I've heard that a big reason that split screen has been declining is because games are getting more graphically impressive, and split screen makes the console have to load and render 2 or more copies of these more complicated environments. Microtransactions in video games. Demonizing people because of one little thing they said or did rather than looking at the greater sum of their life's work. Social media attacks of complete strangers. This mob mentality is sickening and very Big Brother-esque. It used to be that Facebook was safer from this kind of thing because everything is attached to your name and people didn't want it coming back to them. Now FB has so many users and new privacy settings. People lose their individuality and lash out against strangers as if they were anonymous. In the US, a total lack of bipartisanship. Every issue nowadays is us versus them. Whilst political parties have always disagreed on issues, that's their job. I don't recall ever seeing it to the level we have now. The Democrats want to do this. We disagree because they're Democrats and nope, we will not negotiate, and vice versa. For frick's sake, we just had series of natural disasters and they're arguing over which party is helping correctly and getting upset over political statements. Nobody gives a crap. Just send aid and we'll assign blame later. Non-removable batteries in cell phones and other larger electronic devices, too, like tablets and laptops. If my laptop is plugged in, I wouldn't even need to turn it off to switch out the batteries. But some products are all about being thin, so everything is glued together. Littering, not only in nature but also in cities. Trash is amassing in certain spots because some people started to throw something small away. It's still littering even if you're adding something to a pile of trash. Schools putting so much pressure on students that mental health problems become the norm. It's ridiculous how we all agree that people haven't finished growing at 16 years of age, yet we require them to make decisions that affect their entire career. Shameless bending or skirting of rules and laws in both politics and business. doing unethical things that are not technically illegal, then justifying it the same way a pro athlete justifies steroids. Everyone else does it, so I'm forced to do it also just to stay in the game. Sadly, that excuse is kinda valid, but it shouldn't be digested so quickly. I would like extra leagues just for people on steroids. The rise in the cost of living while wages remain stagnate. It's no wonder malls are closing down as people have less disposable income to spend. Another reason why malls are closing is because people are finding online shopping, Amazon, etc., more convenient than going to a brick and mortar store. People who use the phrase these days implying that the past used to not be pretty fricked up. There's nothing wrong with the 21st century that wasn't wrong with the 20th too. Problems have just manifested differently. This is a song lyric BTW. People who need to see a manager for every little thing they disagree with. Odds are, we didn't make the policy to begin with. Some corporate person did. Screaming and making a fuss to get your way on things you probably screwed up yourself only makes everyone else more frustrated. Are there times that a manager needs to step in to fix legitimate problems? Of course. But not being able to refund hundreds of dollars in bank fees because you continuously overdrew your account with reckless abandon is an entirely different situation. A few years ago everyone made fun of the horse armor DLC from Oblivion. Overpriced fancy pixels that do not affect the gameplay for a single player campaign. Now while obvious cash grabs are still being called out by the gaming community, the practice has sadly been adopted by almost every publisher. Heck, the Creation Club does the same thing as the horse armor, only now you can't buy specifically what you want, you gotta buy specific currency packages, making things that technically cost, say, $8 actually cost $15. Since you can't just buy the $8 worth of this digital currency. Thanks Bethesda, you guys learned nothing. I work in a bank and Walmart and constantly, the look men get when buying flowers. It's always accompanied by a someone's in trouble remark. Come on, maybe he just appreciates his lady, or dude, or mom, or someone just died. Even if he was in trouble and they're sorry flowers, it's still pretty dang thoughtful. I'm currently at this stage of my life where I don't have much contact with children anymore. I'm definitely old enough to have children, but don't have any, and definitely old enough to not have them as friends anymore. So I can't tell for sure, but it does seem that I see fewer and fewer kids out in the summer being active. When I was a kid, the neighborhood I grew up in was a lot more lively, a lot more fun. I do understand why it is so, but it's still kind of sad how much less kids spend their time outdoors these days. And this doesn't just pertain to children, people just generally spend too much time indoors these days. If they do think of being active, they yet again go indoors, to a gym. I agree with all of the others, and to add my own, the increasing of what is considered old and the right age to do stuff. I'm 36 and the tail end of my generation. Most people I grew up with were older, just the way the neighborhood town was, and it's like people think we're still kids. Not old to have kids. Oh, you're buying a house young. You're expecting too much if you want your retirement account to be X amount by now and don't worry about anything because you're so young. I don't think infantilizing adults helps. It just is setting a bad precedent for younger millennials and Gen Z. They have all of this time to settle down and get things right, when in reality, the prime working years of your life aren't extremely long. Bad behavior on the roads. GRRR, especially at those who don't respect my security distance between me and the guy in front of me, and cut in between. Yes, the oh crap gap. I don't get why people want to be on someone's butt going 80 miles per hour. Seeking others' approval on social media and looking at other people's lives. It is literally molding a generation of terrible people. That's why I deleted my Facebook profile. When you are comparing your life to your successful friend's carefully crafted highlight reel, your self-esteem is gonna have a bad time. Calling yourself a small business owner when you sell for a MLM scheme. Oh, and all the posts on my feed about how I just have to try this overpriced makeup or fat burning snake oil. Frick off. Ghosting, or otherwise outright ignoring someone, as a means of rejection, specifically in terms of dating sites, but seems to have started creeping into everyday life. I never understood the rationale behind pretending someone doesn't exist. I'm on a dating site and I'd much rather someone hit not interested than to just ignore me. Airport body scans and some state licenses rendered invalid for flights inside our own country. Just for reference, the first time I flew my license was a typed piece of green paper on photo. Checking your phone in movie theaters. 98% of us having to follow new standards because of the 2% that pitch to fit about something. The American media embracing the new outrage culture and beating you over the head with something new to be offended or upset about every week. Constant bombardment of notifications, annotations, pop-ups, popovers, autoplay videos, accept cookies buttons, all useless crap that doesn't serve any other purpose than to distract the user. Debates where two people just shout and interrupt each other. When did we stop having the ability to discuss hard topics in a polite way? Putting labels like gluten-free on items that don't actually have gluten. I was looking at some pre-packaged deli meat the other day and several had gluten-free labels on them. I've seen that Betty Balls with sugar-free and fat-free labels also, but find the gluten-free ones particularly irksome. Some meat might have fears, though. I bought some really cheap pre-packaged meat and it tasted like corn. But I wish things that aren't even expected to contain X would say naturally X free in a small print, and not make it look like some kind of weird substitute food. Flaking on people. I legitimately don't understand how people can live with themselves, totally ditching plans that they made with someone, without even telling them. I see this quite as a teacher. Helicopter parents. If a teacher gave me detention in school, my parents would have told me I deserved it and grounded me. Now, if I give a student detention, there's a significant chance I'll get a phone call from their parents demanding to know why I'm picking on their innocent little treasure who would never do what I accuse them of doing. Blind acceptance of opinion as fact, or equally as bad, acceptance of opinion pieces as news pieces. Celebrity culture. Can't stand people who go around acting as if celebrities are on the same tier as a god or celebrities who think they are one. They are people like everyone else and should treat it as such. Underpaying employees because they get paid inexperience. Being an entitled butthole to retail service industry workers. Had a customer in the store just the other day who didn't say a freaking word to me till the end of me ringing his crap up even though I greeted him and was being polite and friendly. Then points to the counter and said use one of those pennies for me. I dang near wanted to jump over the counter and choke him out. Also companies that side with the customer over their own employees. Parents allowing their kids to spend all their time on smartphones or tablets in the middle of dinners or other social occasions. I see this a lot in restaurants. I usually brush it off because I prefer a quiet child on a phone than a crying one. People using homeless people for their balls social experiments. Playing with someone's emotions like that and testing them is seriously not cool. And giving them food or money on camera for their YouTube just to show how much of a kind and selfless person they are. If they were kind and selfless they wouldn't be doing it on camera. They would do it purely for helping this less fortunate person not to get likes on their page. Fricks me off. People willingly giving up their personal information for free and thinking others are strange for trying to preserve some modicum of privacy. People aren't as polite as my mama raised me. Just yesterday, I was wrapping up at a farmer's market. I always go to the other vendors with my bakery leftovers. I get to the nut lady in this way exactly how the converse turn went. 86. Hi, we have some leftovers and we are giving it away to the other vendors. Would you like X, Y, or Z? Nut lady, that is all you have? It would have been better if you had A. Don't you have any of that you can go get for me? 86. Sorry, I sold out. I immediately walked away. By walked, I mean hobbled away since it is very clear I have a physical disability. There is no way in heck that I am going to suffer for you. But, I will for anyone who is nice. Like coffee, I will bring you a free cup of coffee while you set up. You are working alone and I notice your Pepsi bottle is almost empty. Then I will bring you a Pepsi. I will help anyone out and I try to never ask for help. Offer me your stuff that I will never eat or use. I will accept it and find it a home. True, the home might be in a trash can but it will be done without anyone knowing. Error. Can you tell I really can't handle rudeness? WTF. Nut lady, you are the first person in 3 weeks who wasn't gratuitous. Seriously, what the frack? You have been visited by the party pug. He just wants you to celebrate with him. Comment woohoo to celebrate with the party pug. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.